Skal du ha? Ja, noe sånt. Yes! It's November subscription.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And today I have Thea visited my studio.
Yeah.
Thea is one of our baristas. Can you tell a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. My name is Thea. I've been working for you for 3 years now.
Wow.
Living in Oslo for 3 years.
Yeah.
Like it a lot.
But you're from Lofoten.
I'm from Lofoten Islands.
Yeah. Which is probably the most beautiful place on earth. I haven't been, but I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
Any good coffee up there?
There are more roasteries now. Haven't tested them lately, but there are things happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think all over Norway we are seeing more and more roasters opening.
Yeah, exactly.
And because Norway is a very big country, we have very small towns everywhere. Not everywhere, but a lot of places. And you'll find a lot of small roasteries opening up in those places, which is great because it just means good coffee is available for more people.
Absolutely.
Yes. Great. So Thea is one of our baristas, and you're also a photographer.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I like it.
And what are you doing now? Because you're not working full time at the moment.
No, I've been working full time for a year, and now I'm back to school.
Yeah.
Studying French. Yeah.
Parlez-vous français?
Un petit peu. Oui.
That's about it.
Yeah. I'm having some practice sometimes in the bar. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do get some French customers.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do they think about our espresso? Because they're used to a very
Yeah.
different way of drinking espresso, I guess.
I think it's important how you greet your guests and how you present the coffee, and then I experienced that almost everyone are open to try something new.
Yeah.
And most people like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. You know, in France, at least when I've been to France, which is actually quite a lot,
Yeah.
I used to go there for vacation as a kid. But I remember from when I was a kid, and I still, when I've been there now, most of the places are serving very dark roasted,
Yeah.
Robusta, low quality coffee.
Exactly.
But there are, of course, some great coffee shops and roasteries in France as well.
Absolutely. I love Telescope in Paris.
Telescope, shout out to our friend Nicolas.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Today we're going to taste 3 very nice coffees.
Nice.
Let's just start. I
Yes.
think you know these coffees already, except maybe one.
All right.
But we're actually going to serve, or not serve, but I'll serve you.
Okay.
But the first coffee we're going to send out to all subscribers, all 1-bag subscribers, 2 and 3-bag subscribers, is we call it Cielito Lindo, because it's from the top of the farm of Nacimiento. And that's actually not Jobneel's farm, it's his father's.
Okay.
But Jobneel is kind of managing him now because his father is, I think, close to 80 years old. The only way to go up the hill to his farm is by foot, and the only way to get coffee down is by donkey and, carrying yourself. So, of course, for an old man, it's difficult. So Nacimiento is a farm we've been working with for a long time, since 2009. It's in north of Honduras, in Santa Barbara, and it's on top of a mountain. So above Jobneel's farm, there's still a little bit of mountain, but it's a kind of national park. So you're not able to cut down trees or anything there.
Nice.
This is like from top. What's special about this coffee is that it's a variety that we normally don't buy from him. We bought this coffee actually first time we bought Nacimiento or Cielito Lindo was through Cup of Excellence, and that's how we kind of found this farm. I went back, bought the same coffee the next year, 2008 and 2009, through the Cup of Excellence. And then I also went there in 2009 to visit, and then we started buying direct. But what's funny about this coffee, it's a Catimor. Do you know what a Catimor is?
Have you heard the word before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a variety,
Yeah.
but it's a hybrid variety that up until very recently has been considered resistant against leaf rust. This is Icafe 90, so it's developed in Honduras. But just 2 years ago, they started finding leaf rust on this plant. So it's a cross between Hybrido de Timor, which is a resistant variety, and then Caturra. I think it's Caturra, yes. Normally this has a very herbal, green, not so pleasant flavor. But since it's grown very, very high above sea level, 1800 meters, has just, a very different flavor. So let's just taste it.
All right, exciting. Oh wow. Super good, like red flavors. Like,
red flavors, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that it's almost fermented, but this is just the flavor of this variety from this farm.
Yeah. I guess isn't SL28 also growing very high, as the more fruity coffees are more.
Yeah. So actually, on this farm, because we found some seeds for Jobneel to plant SL28, I think that's 5 years ago. So on this farm, the SL28, he planted below this, because this part was already planted. And on this farm, it's actually a little bit of Pachas, and then Hybrido or Café 90, which is the Catimor. But we specifically asked Jobneel to separate the Catimor for the Nordic Roaster competition.
All right.
Because this year we have to compete with a hybrid, and this was one of the allowed on the list. Unfortunately, we got a mail just a couple of weeks before the competition, where we now know that it's not resistant anymore. Which is a bad thing, but one of the categories in the competition is to compete with these hybrids that are resistant. So it was still allowed to compete with, and tasted really good, I think. Very fruity.
Super good and very juicy.
Yeah.
I can drink a lot of it.
Yeah, exactly. The funny thing is this variety from the lower part of the farm, so 1500 meters, the farm is kind of on a hill, and it starts on 1500 meters and goes up to 1800.
Oh, wow.
But from 1500 meters, it tastes really weedy. Like, when people smoke weed, you have this kind of smell, this green. It smells like hops as well. And it's kind of not so nice in the aftertaste. But from the top of the farm, it just disappears and becomes delicious. It's pretty easy to see the difference on the trees next to a Pachas tree. Pachas is very short, dwarf mutation, so very short trees. The Catimors, huge leaves. They produce a lot of coffee, and it's kind of more robust trees.
I can taste it. It's quite herbal as well.
Yeah.
But it's very, very pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not exactly. It's pleasant. It's there, but it's pleasant. All right, so that's the coffee we're sending out to everyone, and we didn't buy a whole lot of this coffee, and we actually had to air freight it to Norway because we had to get it on time for the competition. And normally we ship all with on a container on a boat, but because this is from the top of the farm, it's also the coffee that they harvest the last.
Yes.
Because it's cold climate, there's clouds all the time, no sun, so the cherries need a lot of time to ripen. So to compare, like this Pachas that I'm going to serve you now is from the lower part of the farm.
I love Pachas.
And of course the trees will flower at the same time on the farm. And from the flowers you get the coffee cherries, and then it takes 8-9 months to ripen normally at the lower part. But on top it takes a couple of more months. So this Pachas is harvested in March, and the Catimor is harvested in June.
All right, quite a difference.
Yeah. And they taste very different. So let's try. I'll top up this.
I think it's fresher.
Yeah. Not so much red fruit, like in your face. A little bit. I would normally, when you taste like wine or something, you say that it's slim or something like that. So whereas the other one is kind of bold and big.
Yeah, but I still feel some like cherry notes and chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. A bit more elegant, a bit more subtle. Still red fruits, maybe some apples, but not as ripe maybe as this one. So if you're into wine, you can maybe compare the Pachas being more like a Burgundy maybe. And then the Catimor is more like Bordeaux or like French Rioja wine, which is like, whoa.
Okay.
Okay, so first coffee from Nacimiento or Cielito Lindo, we call the little parcel on the top. Y Café 90, so Catimor. Second coffee for all the 2-bag subscribers will get the Pachas from the lower part of Nacimiento. And then the third coffee, his famous Borbon.
All right.
And this year we didn't get a lot because he actually stumped all the trees because they were getting too tall. So we only had a couple of, well, not a couple, but he had small amounts of trees producing. And hopefully next year or in the following year we'll get some more again. But this is kind of the coffee, for me at least, that is one of his best. So let's try it.
I remember we had it as a Christmas coffee 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yes.
It was so good.
Yes.
I still remember those red. Yeah.
Yeah. Also a lot of red fruit. But it's just so nice.
So pleasant, and it's so sweet and also quite fresh.
Yeah.
Like red currant almost, but also
Yeah, it has kind of a firm acidity. It's not flabby. Like for me, this is more like a little flabby, if that makes sense. It's kind of a little all over the place. But here it's kind of very precise and sharp and firm. Fresh is a good word. Like a really, you can compare with like Norwegian high acidic apples compared to American, red apples, which is more like.
Yeah.
So, 3-bag subscribers will get Borbon, also from Nacimiento, from the few trees that are there, and it's a really old Borbon. You can see on the beans they're a little pointy. So we've actually taken this Borbon and planted elsewhere because we like it really a lot. So it looks very similar to the Borbon that is on Los Pirineos in El Salvador. Old big plants with like pointy beans and red cherries. But they taste very different on each farm. But geographically, they're not so far away. Nice. How would you brew these coffees?
Personally, I like the V60 the best, maybe. I think it's more the routine. I think it's cozy, koselig, to do it in the morning. But I remember I had my first course with you when I started, and we brewed the same coffee on 5 different methods.
Yeah.
And the result was that the coffee tasted more or less the same.
Yeah.
So conclusion was that brewing method don't matter that much, but more what you are good at or what you prefer.
I actually agree quite a lot. Like you can change the mouthfeel a lot. Obviously, a French press and a V60 will have different mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Because of the oils being filtered out and so on.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think you're right. Like if you have a good recipe and manage to hit the same strength and extraction on all the methods, they taste more or less the same. So it's only a matter of finding a method that you're comfortable with and making sure you brew it well, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also the AeroPress is so good. It's so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I brew this on the AeroPress.
Yeah.
But I think also don't be afraid to try to grind this slightly finer, especially if you compare it to our Kenyan and Ethiopian coffees, because it can be a little bit more difficult to extract than the African coffees we have. But it should be quite similar to the Tamana, Los Pirineos, Caballero coffees on grind setting. And maybe on the Catimor, you can try to grind slightly coarser.
Higher extraction?
No, slightly lower extraction actually. Just because you have that kind of herbalness, you can get rid of it a little bit with just opening up the grinder slightly coarser and you get a little bit more of the fruit. But it's also a higher grown coffee, so it's easier to extract. Great. Any questions?
What's your favorite?
Out of these, I have to say the Borbon is my favorite. But I really like the Katimor as well. I think this, is probably one of the best Katimors that I've tasted, except from one that I tasted in Brazil once, which was a crazy coffee.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it's, this is the reason why I started buying coffee from Nacimiento and his father, Extraberto. And the coffee is very recognizable, like big fruit, and it's easy to recognize. So, but still the Borbon is fantastic.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I hope you like the coffees. And if you're not subscribing to our coffees, you can check out our website. If you have any questions for me or for Thea, below is the way to go. And I guess I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Sure.